Oh yeah, it's your boy Livewire, and I'm back in the motherfucking building, baby. But wait, I am not alone. I am here with Arky GameCast. What's
Hello
going
there,
on, brother?
guys. Hey, what's up,
Yeah.
brother?
Now this guy is the Mister. I know everything about State of Decay because he eats, lives, he sleeps, he breathes State of Decay
Absolutely.
goodness.
You got it.
Oh, so before we get into our discussion about State of Decay, hey man, what you been playing?
So currently, actually, I picked up, to believe it or not to believe it, I picked up fucking Rock Band for the
Oh wow.
Xbox One. I've been playing Rock Band. I am a guitarist by day and gamer by night.
Oh
So I
shit.
had to pick up Rock Band on a discount. So that's what I'm playing right now. I am also diving into a game that honestly I thought would be shit, but I got it for $12 and I'm actually enjoying it, and that is Homefront Revolution. I
Oh
know
yeah,
all the
I
baggage
heard
it
that
has.
that the game was all right. Yeah.
It's all right. It's good for $12. It certainly would not be good if I had to put down $60.
Oh. Well, it sounds good. Sounds good. Man, what have I been playing? I've been playing, actually, believe it or not, Sleeping Dogs. I know it's crazy, right?
Wow.
Like
The
I
first one?
yeah, well, yeah, I think there's only one. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Watch Dogs. Yeah,
Oh no, no,
Sleeping
no,
Dogs. Yep.
yeah, I'm not a Watch Dogs fan, but Sleeping Dogs. No, I mean I played it earlier, and there were so many other games coming out,
Yeah.
at the time, and that was one of those games for gold.
It's just
So it just wasn't something I was like, oh, I got to play right now. But now
yeah,
that
it
yeah,
was gold a couple months ago. Actually, yeah, when that game did drop, it is like the name says, Sleeping Dogs. The game was a sleeper hit.
oh
It
yeah,
kind of went under everybody's radar, and till this day, people are still asking for a second one. I never beat Sleeping Dogs, but I did play throughout. I would say the first quarter of the game, and I enjoyed the fighting mechanics, and I think it could have definitely done for a sequel. But it's too bad that that development team is no longer
yeah,
uh, at work.
yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah, I think I'm at the part where I'm at the wedding. I just finished the wedding
Hmm.
scenario.
That's where
I
I
was like,
got
man,
where
this is some wild shit right
some
here.
some traumatic things happen.
Oh yeah. Oh, so let me get a shout out to other Zinks, DJ Sink, what's going on? And who's next? What's going on, people? Nice to see y'all up in here in the chat.
Hello
So
there,
let's
guys.
get into it. Today
Yeah,
we want
State
to
of Decay.
talk. Yeah, today we want to talk about State of Decay 2 almost exclusively. And the reason
Absolutely.
being because I mean I got the man who knows more than a little bit about State of Decay in here, and it just makes
Yeah,
sense. So,
yeah.
the first topic you was discussing to me in the private chat, diversity.
Hmm.
The diverse
Yeah.
um amount of characters that they have in this State of Decay game is unlike, I would say, most games that we typically see.
Like, yep. The character pool, as many of you guys may know, and as you may know, the character pool in State of Decay is basically, I wouldn't go as far to say as being randomly generated, but it is to a point because there are hundreds of different characters, all with unique traits and specialties that only they have. And in the new State of Decay 2, this character pool is diverse as hell. There are, ethnicities that most games don't touch because for their demographic, it just wouldn't make sense. And with Save Decay 2 being a game about community, it only makes sense for the community to be as diverse as possible so they do not alienate any of their future customers or potential State of Decay fans. Um, and what I was talking to you about was a couple uh, conversations I had with viewers about the diversity and how some of them, mainly just one, had some very disgusting things to say, not only about the races that were being portrayed in the character pool, but also Undead Labs, the developer of State of Decay 2. And I thought we could maybe discuss that for about 5 minutes. Is for me, a diverse cast means you are getting a diverse story. I don't want a story to tell me something I already know or give me an experience I already had. I want a story that gives me new experiences and is a diverse story. And with Save Decay 2 having a diverse cast, as you just, I would say you're a moderate player. You're not like diehard or anything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I played my fair share of State of Decay, but I'm definitely not diehard to the extent of many others.
Yeah, and so as it is right now, with it being such a diverse cast of characters, I just don't see where the complaint comes from of it being too diverse. And may I quote this comment saying, there was a disproportionate amount of blacks/ethnics. For me, that is outrageous, and I applaud this type of developing where you include as many races as possible just because, not because you have to, not because you want to, just because it isn't it isn't a big deal to.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think State of Decay more than anybody else, Undead Labs. They understand zombie genre and what is the biggest zombie franchise within the genre right now.
Dead.
It is The Walking Dead. And The Walking Dead is extremely diverse. Extremely.
Of course.
I mean, people cried when Glenn died. He's not a white guy.
Of course, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I was on that train of people that were. I was deeply distressed that they killed off Glenn, and that just shows to the world that in any certain media, it does not have to be catered to any specific demographic, and I think State of Decay 2 will allow for the ultimate storytelling, and that is a diverse story. And speaking of story, if many of you do not know, State of Decay is implementing a feature that Undead Labs are currently calling a dynamic story. So a dynamic story as in when you progress through the main story, you're going to experience things that other players do not experience because of the decisions you made as a player. And a diverse and dynamic story is, I think, very exciting. And for it to be an exclusive on Xbox is monumental. And I think I still don't believe that people understand how big of a game this is and how big of a game it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's since the beginning, I say State of Decay had a cult following. And in the fact that it survives all the glitches, all the bugs, all its issues, and people still loved it in spite of that. Should tell a lot of people that is the reason why this game is such a big deal. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't flawless, but yet everybody saw, its foundation was strong. Everybody saw what it did well. It did extremely well, and I think that's what gamers have been looking for, especially from a zombie game. The actual sense of loss when you lose somebody. Because when you die in a regular game, you just come back and after you go back to your checkpoint. Whereas now in State of Decay, when you die, it's over. It doesn't matter how many hours you done played with that character, how much you upgraded them. It's when it's over. It's a. I live by a police station, so
it's all right.
When it's over, it is over.
Yeah, the permadeath system is not implemented in many games, and the big thing is a lot of Dark Souls players might be like, oh, Dark Souls is hard as shit, or Dark Souls is the hardest game. Yes, it is maybe the hardest game. I couldn't get into it. But State of Decay will allow you to play as a character and will allow you to love that character and allow you to grow in that world with that character, and then strip that character from you, and it's done. It's either you restart and try to get that character back, or like that is the only way you're seeing that character again.
Now, I'm not going to lie, Arky. There's a few times that I saw Marcus almost die and I unplugged my Xbox. I'm not going to lie about it. I definitely
dude,
did.
We've all done that. We have all done that, dude.
I was like, no, fuck that. No.
I literally did that just a week ago. Okay. It when you have a character that you're invested in and that character can be permanently taken away from your story, that's deep and that's hard. And I don't think there is another game out there that does that. And it puts that weight on a player's shoulder. And that's why I love State of Decay. It is the zombie game. Whether people like it or not, it is the zombie game. And I think in the future, State of Decay 2 is going to bring this franchise to the level it deserves to be at, and will allow this franchise to grow monumentally. And I cannot wait. And for the past 2 months, I've been on a journey of diving really deep into the State of Decay community, and it is an awesome community to be a part of, and the audience are super invested in this franchise. And I know there's a lot of games that have that, super invested audience, but this audience really cares about the developers and really cares about the franchise. And there's not too many, for lack of a better term, there's not too many assholes in this community. And that's what I'm loving about it. It's changing my life in some ways, because I'm passionate about Save Decay. I'm passionate about the sequel. And I found people that are just as passionate about the franchise. And I cannot wait to see where it goes. But there's so many other things to talk about besides State of Decay just alone. It being an exclusive to Xbox, how do you think that's going to shape Xbox in the future?
Console. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, a lot of people said because Xbox hasn't had Xbox will not have a Gears of War or a Halo come out this year. I mean, as far as we know, I don't know if Halo 3 anniversary drops or whatever, but as far as we know, that's not coming out. And a lot of people have said because those games aren't coming out this year, they're like, well, what's Xbox gonna have? They have Sea of Thieves, but it's a new franchise. Nobody knows about it, Yeah. They have State of Decay. Yes, this is State of Decay 2, but the first one was an arcade game, and again, people don't really know what to expect. Especially even though there's been 5 million people that have bought the game, you're talking about between Xbox and Steam. So they're not like the communities are kind of separate at this point. Yes. You might have like 2 million on Xbox and then another 2 million on Steam, or 2.5 million on each side.
Of course, yeah.
So, you have that aspect, and then you have Crackdown, another unknown. Even though it looks cool as shit, Crackdown 2 is what people always harp on, even though most people only play Crackdown 1. Which is interesting, but Crackdown 2 wasn't a great game. We all know this, but Crackdown 1 was amazing. Crackdown 2 wasn't great, but Crackdown 3, it looks to be something we've never played before. So, and it's also unknown, power to cloud, all that shit, but we don't know.
Those are the things that scare me about Crackdown 3, and that is what we've seen from Crackdown almost seems unreal in a way, at least at the stage we're at in this console generation. I think with the Scorpio being so close and us not really knowing all these specs and all the real important details about this console and how it's going to work with the online system and how it's going to integrate games to that online system. I think as of right now, Crackdown is an unrealistic game for Xbox One. Now, is it an unrealistic game when Scorpio comes out? I don't think so. I think Xbox Scorpio is the console to take the PC centric power and put that within a console that's at an affordable price for most gamers. I think that with the Xbox Scorpio being this new iteration of Xbox and not alienating any of the current users, I think with Crackdown being a very ambitious title, and with State of Decay 2 being, I would say, just as ambitious, mainly because they're working with 3 maps, and all of these maps have their own individual environments and environmental effects happening. The games we're seeing from Xbox, yes, they may be few in between, but these are powerhouses, and these are games that aren't just not to bring Horizon into it, but they're not just another open world. These are ambitious titles with ambitious mechanics and these games have very dynamic features. These features just will not work on the current gen, whether it is PlayStation or Xbox. So I think that's why I think that's why Microsoft is taking that step to bring something that has the power to really bring something new to the game sphere. And I think Xbox Scorpio, from what I've gathered, what do you think the price will be for that? Because of what I've gathered, it's looking at $499.
You know what? I don't know if it's going to be $499 or $399, but what I look at the Scorpio being is it's the big brother console. If you know what I mean, it's
that's a good way of saying it.
It's like the console that if you were say if we were kids, right? Say if I'm like 16 years old, but my brother's 10. Well, my brother would get the Xbox One S. I would get the Scorpio. You get what I'm saying? So it's what the older kid gets, like the big brother console. Something that, but yet, even though it's the more powerful console and whatnot, I could still play with my little brother. The only thing that he's losing is the graphical fidelity, So online, with Crackdown will be able to play on both online. They're not going to have the same amount of destruction. I don't think either one on the campaign, because one, you can't blow up all the buildings in the campaign. You won't be able to finish the campaign. You blew up everything, so they're not going to do that. But for multiplayer, you can have at it, and that's what cloud computing comes in. Even the funny thing is what Xbox wasn't one. We all know it came out earlier than it probably should have, and two, they wanted to go straight mainly online, and they didn't think people. I mean, yes, graphics are important, and yes, they wanted to focus on that, but they felt that online would be the key to really pushing gaming forward. And the fact that they couldn't do always online, they basically had to kind of scrap that whole idea, and everything that was with cloud computing and all that stuff that they were going to do, they basically had to find a way around it, because you couldn't do always online anymore. At least for Microsoft couldn't do it. We know Titanfall was always online, but that was because they wanted to do always online. Battlefront was always online because they wanted. But see, Microsoft doesn't get those. Like, if Microsoft does it, they're the evil empire. If somebody else does it, it's like, oh, okay, that's what it is. It's just it's a what do you want to? The best way I can describe it is like I don't want to say it's biased. It's just a double standard. I mean, it is what it is. It's not that it's right or wrong. It's just it is a double standard. They're used to it. At this point, they gotta just have to deal with it.
I think what has happened and why this is the dynamic right now is because basically Sony stole that the consoles have switched their place. Sony has now become, and this is not my opinion, but this is the mainstream opinion. Sony has become the console for gamers, and Xbox and Microsoft, their console has become the console for everyone. And when you put yourself in that type of position, you're going to get a lot of backlash from the people who, felt comfortable on the Xbox 360. And when they did announce, Xbox One and it being online all the time, basically it put them in a bad space. And I think right now with Scorpio being the big buzz, I don't see Sony having any room to progress unless they take their console to the next level, just like Microsoft is doing for Xbox. Yeah. And I'm not biased. Like we talked about earlier, I own both consoles. I have made content on my channel concerning both consoles. I had a full series about not coming to Bethesda's games on PlayStation. So I have seriously no bias. I just have my own preferences, but I do have an open mind when it comes to how this is working and how, certain people, I understand where the bias comes from. And it's a sad place of people just not being able to own everything. And I understand that because I'm not rich. I work day to day just to, be able to purchase the things I want to purchase. I have no, substantial wealth to go out and buy whatever I want. So the things I have, I will fight for. And if someone's going to tell me my console isn't as good as this console, then I'm going to backlash. And I'm going to, maybe say some things that just simply aren't true because I have a bias and a self-preservation. That's what it is. And I think that with the Xbox Scorpio coming out and hopefully being at an affordable price for everyone, I think hopefully Microsoft can get into that position of making a console that is for gamers and not for moms and your grandmas to watch their Netflix or to watch Hulu and all that crap they try to attach to their system. But it just be about the exclusives and about the games. And
you know what I think the big thing from going from 360 was the console that everybody bought for a lot of things. I mean, I think that's why they went with the route with Xbox being the all-in-one console, because the 360 some people just bought it for Netflix. I mean, because I think Netflix was exclusively on Xbox 360 for like a year or so. And then PlayStation got it. But then when PlayStation got that, then Xbox got in HBO Go. So then they were again, it was exclusively only on Xbox. So it was constantly like the multimedia device. Because I know a lot of girls that went out that are not gamers, that went out and got an Xbox 360 because it played Netflix and they could play Just Dance, and that's it. That's all they cared about. Yeah. Like they were like, I want to play Just Dance with my home when our homegirls come over, and she want to watch Netflix with her boo. That's all she cared about.
Yeah, and I think just the biggest issue was the Xbox One was marketed as a multimedia device, and it wasn't marketed as a device for gamers. And I think that is what they're going for with the Scorpio.
That's where they got lost, though. Because
it is where they got lost.
Originally, the 360 was marketed towards gamers, and then they marketed towards everybody. But then they forgot somewhere in the middle. They forgot, when we sold this thing, we originally marketed towards gamers first because that's who buys our consoles first. Yeah, and then you market it towards everybody. So that's kind of like where the issue was. But you know, that's when Donnie Matrix came in, and he came in midway through the 360. So I don't know if he wasn't there or he didn't get the memo. I don't know. But
well, you know, the ultimate breakdown of what happened, and I'd like to move on from this because this is a topic and discussion we've been having for years now as a community. And I think the ultimate breakdown of this discussion was that Xbox was the leading console, you know, ever when Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 were competing or competing against each other for that market. Xbox just thought that they did not have a competitor going into the next generation, and they did. And Sony came in and they basically said, we are making a console for gamers. We are not going to alienate you and not allow you to sell your games. We are making discs. We are, you know, having awesome exclusives. They sold their console to gamers. Xbox decided to sell Xbox One to everyone, and it just didn't work out. And now that we are years into the generation, we are finally being able to move on as a community and not having that baggage of having a multimedia device and not having a device for gamers. And I think, and to bring it back to State of Decay 2, I think State of Decay 2 is going to be that the bullet that basically starts off Xbox hitting every exclusive on the nail, because Quantum Break was a failure. I didn't even play Quantum Break, and I know it was a failure because I don't want to play it. If I don't want to play a game, well, then it just didn't work out because I want to play every game. But if I don't want to shell out $20 to play your game, it just didn't work out. And I think State of Decay is that shoot-off point for Xbox, that they're taking their exclusives seriously and they're taking their fans seriously. And I think this is a monumental moment. And as I you know, not to sound too much about myself, but I am the only person that is covering this game. That scares me because people are not taking this game seriously. And I don't know, it's going to bite them in the ass when this game launches and it is the #1 title on Xbox One. And I don't want to make that assumption right now, but I do believe that this title has a lot of power. And I think that it being an arcade game once and now being a AAA title, a first-party title for Microsoft, it just shows how confident they are in this title. And as a gamer and as a fan of the franchise, I am just so ecstatic to continue the coverage of it, but not only that, but to be able to finally play it. And I stated in my last video, I stated basically when this game comes out, it's going to be in all of our consoles, and it is going to have the ultimate prime time because it is going to be the only exclusive on the market at the time. So that means every Xbox player is going to play it, and that makes this game powerful because it's not going to fail. This game has a lot of opportunity to succeed where it stands right now.
The funny thing about State of Decay is the one thing it doesn't have to worry about, unlike maybe a game like State of Decay, not State of Decay, Sea of Thieves or Crackdown, is the fan base is already there.
Yeah.
So day one, you're automatically going to get 1 million people that are going to buy this game, period. Similar to like an Uncharted, you know, or Halo or Gears. You're automatically going to get 1 million people to buy this game because there's already been people requesting for years that they want to play State of Decay and multiplayer. What do we wanted? We wanted State of Decay and multiplayer. We wanted State of Decay with no glitches. You know, we wanted a fully polished State of Decay. And if you're telling me you're giving me that, plus you're giving me dynamic narratives, right? You're giving me more fleshed out communities. You're giving me, because what I was thinking was, imagine, I don't know if they have it, you know, they haven't discussed it as far as I know, but imagine you going on a run and somebody gets bit or sick or whatever. People, when they die, they come back, right? And and the person's gonna die, and now you have to make a decision. When do you kill them, or when do you like take them out of their misery? Do you do it instantly once you've realized that they have been bitten? Do you wait because this is a character that you really care for and hold out? But if you hold out too long, it could compromise your group, you know? Like,
and yeah, that was a story beat in State of Decay. I'm trying to remember the actual mission name.
It was like one of the first.
They had
the first one when you had to go get the doctor, right? It was like the one of the because you did have to shoot somebody in the first.
That was you had to shoot the sheriff. Basically, he got sick, and I'm trying to remember the mission name. I know one of my audience members are going to nail me for it because they just asked about it. They asked whether or not that type of thing is going to be in State of Decay 2. And the best answer I had for him is I think that's going to be a part of what dynamic narrative means to them. I think having, say you send someone out to scavenge a gun shop, they get attacked and they come back and decide whether or not you have to put them down. I think it was named something like the mercy shot or something like that. Basically, what that mission is, I think, going to be more of a part into State of Decay 2. I think it's not going to be straight up, hey, you either need to kill this person or send them. It's going to be more of they're sick. Now the player needs to figure out what they're going to do. Do they kill them on site? Do they wait it out and see
here it is right here.
if this person gets better?
Oh, sorry. And I think that's what this is right here. You notice that? Do you see the girl here? She got the gun to her chest, so she's probably sick.
Give me 1 second. Yes. So absolutely, that is a great find. So yes, that woman that she's holding does look sick, and it does look like she's gonna put her out. And I think that this is going that type of occurrence is going to be a part of that dynamic story where there's going to have something like this, but it's going to be different and under different circumstances. So this, say you run into this type of scenario where you might have to kill this person because they're sick and they might infect some other community members. Do you decide to kill that person or do you wait it out? And maybe Undead Labs have figured out a medium, and that is where you can build a quarantine zone and they will either die or they will, come back to health. But that is something you have to progress through the story to be able to upgrade to. And I think that things like that are going to make this game shine. And it's not the main story. It's the small things.
Yeah.
It's always the small things.
Yeah, because that would be a big deal if, like, say if you start the game off but somebody gets bit. And so in the beginning of the game, yes, it means they're going to die. Because guess what? You don't have things built up. You don't have provisions for those people because they've been bit. But later on, maybe because you have a better medical unit and other things of that nature, therefore you can save more people depending on how many people are bit. Obviously, it goes into how many, like if you have 7 people bit and you only can accommodate for 3, then you have to choose which of those 3 of the 7 can be taken care of.
Absolutely. That is the type of dynamic storytelling I think they're going for, is that, upgrade you see when it happens, but you don't understand that it's happening until you're able to make those type of decisions. Because you've progressed as a character, or just as, well, let me just step back 1 sec.
Yeah.
What's awesome about this game is you're not going into it and playing one character with one goal. You are more of an outsider, kind of controlling this. You're basically controlling The Walking Dead. If any of you out there watch The Walking Dead, what State of Decay and State of Decay 2 is basically putting you in the director seat. putting you as the cameraman, the director, the screenwriter. You basically control this community. And I think what's going to happen with Save Decay 2 is they're going to put more control in the player's hands. And I honestly, like I said before, this game is going to not only be just successful in any simple terms, but it's going to be a game that people want to play. And that's why I'm kind of shocked that no one really is covering it and no one is getting that hype that hype that they need, because, well, maybe it's for the better that when this game comes out, it just shocks the world, just like the first one.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the funny thing is, when I learned about State of Decay, I watched IGN when they were still talking about games, and
when they were still talking about games.
Yeah, and it was actually Greg Miller. I was watching Greg Miller and
Greg Miller, man, Greg Miller, dude.
Yeah, he was the
reason why I do this
State of Decay fan, and one of the reasons why I it was him, and I can't remember who the other guy was. I don't think it was Ryan McCaffrey. It was somebody. No, I don't think it was. I don't think so. I can't remember.
I know Colin didn't like State. So
yeah, I don't think he liked it. He said it was too glitchy. But Greg Miller was a huge fan of it, and I gave it a try, and I was like, "Yo, this game is amazing." And and it was an arcade title. So when it came to arcade titles, we knew that a lot of them had some minor issues. And mind you, I think State of Decay was the biggest Xbox Live arcade title ever. Along with Minecraft, I think Minecraft was the other one, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't deny that. I have no evidence saying that it's not the biggest, because I don't know anything that is bigger besides Minecraft, obviously. But to a point that you were just talking about, this is a bomb I'm about to drop. I already dropped it in a video previously in the coverage series, but State of Decay 2 had, and this is why I say what I say today. State of Decay 1 had 2 gigabytes worth of memory that the developer could use.
Yeah.
State of Decay 2 has, AAA status, so they can use basically up to, I think it is 50 gigabytes of memory on the Xbox One and Windows. So just think about the leap in mechanics, in graphic fidelity, in just enhanced gameplay, that from what you got from a 2 gigabyte to a 50 gigabyte, development space. This game has so much more space and room to shine. And I think that is why people are going to be surprised with how much bigger and more dense this game will be compared to its predecessor. And State of Decay 2 isn't it obviously isn't an arcade game anymore because it has AAA funding from Microsoft, but it is a top tier game. It's a first party title, so they're putting a lot of love and care into this game. So I think that's why people need to, I don't know, my viewers know what this game is. I think the people who have maybe sunk 10 hours into State of Decay and haven't thought about it since, those are the people that we need to awaken, and really let loose that this game's coming. This game isn't like Crackdown, where we have no idea when we're going to see that.
Yeah.
We know that this game is coming this year, and we're getting a release date in 48 days. Yeah. So, so June 11th is when we will hear the release date at Microsoft's press conference. And that is the day that we see gameplay. That is the day where this game has the world and can finally get that recognition it always deserved. And I just can't wait. But, up from today up till then, I'm still covering it. We're still going to dive deep. We still have 3 more pieces about the characters in State of Decay, and Undead Labs will release those release those pieces of information in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, there's always going to be more information about this game up until release. And that's why I'm excited, because the developers aren't shy. They're not hiding this game. They have it for you to see, and you just have to look. And I applaud you, because I know that you understand that this game is a super important game for Xbox. And, you know, your audience are Xbox fans. They want this, you know, they want this console to succeed, and this is the game that's going to help that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal. A lot of people are, you know, even PlayStation guys are saying that it possibly can be on the level of Xbox's version of The Last of Us. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying it is The Last of Us, because The Last of Us and State of Decay are completely different. The Last of Us is story driven, right? You know this. You know, you're supposed to fall in love with those specific characters. Not to say that you're not supposed to fall in love with the characters on State of Decay, but everybody's going to fall in love with the same characters in The Last of Us.
Yeah. And let me just say, Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. I have absolutely no bias, and I have a lot of comments saying, you know, why don't you talk about Days Gone if you like apocalypse games and stuff? Well, for me, Days Gone has one single trailer, and the development team aren't talking about it. So why would I talk about it? If the development team aren't getting me hyped about a game, I don't want to talk about it. State of Decay, you know, they're getting me hyped. What they're talking about, hyping me up and getting me excited. And as you were saying, The Last of Us, you know, The Last of Us and Last of Us 2, you know, those are huge titles. Those are very important titles, not only just for PlayStation, just for gamers in general, because Naughty Dog, I would put up with some of the best developers, mainly because they care about their titles. And that's why State of Decay 2 is in the position it's in, because the development team really cares about this title. And with you know, we were having a discussion earlier about Windows 10, about this game being an exclusive to Xbox but also coming to Windows. And some of my viewers are kind of confused with it being an exclusive to Xbox but also coming to Windows. To put it, it's not an exclusive to Xbox, it's an exclusive to Microsoft. Kind of like Minecraft. And as you know, Minecraft did make it over to the PlayStation. So I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility for State of Decay to, I don't know, one day come to PlayStation, but I wouldn't say within the next 3 years. I wouldn't say within the next, you know, this game is important for Microsoft.
Oh, so you mean Steam, it's right? Not, I don't think it's coming to PlayStation.
I don't. Ever. No. Well, the thing is, Steam, I told you earlier that I do not have a yes or no answer for it to coming to Steam. But what I do know about it coming to Steam is that the development team have basically said once the game is released on Xbox and Windows, they will talk about it and they will figure it out. Because you have to understand that Undead Labs, I do not believe it is by Microsoft. So basically, they'll have to go behind closed doors and negotiate with Microsoft. You know, how do they sell this game on Steam's platform? So I think I think in later dates, Steam is definitely a possibility. As of right now, no, it isn't. It will not be launching on Steam day one. In the future.
Yeah, you know what I think it depends on? It probably depends on the sales. And then it depends on,
of course,
it'll depend on the sales depending on how quick it comes. And then it depends on what Microsoft, say State of Decay is huge, not like oh it does well. No, it's huge. Microsoft might treat it just like Sony would treat it, and hold it hostage. Be like, you know what?
What?
It's either you get it on Windows Store or you get it on Xbox. That's it. It's not coming to Steam. Yes, people that are exclusive to Steam will be pissed, but if it's selling, Microsoft's not going to give a shit. They're not.
The thing is, if people have Steam, then they have a way to have Windows, and that's just for most PC users. But what I was saying about PlayStation and why I say it's a possibility, I'm not saying that it is or is not. I'm saying it is a possibility that in the future, K2 is a huge franchise. I could see it being on PlayStation only because the track record of when Microsoft only, if the IP is doing well, what they can do is they can negotiate with Sony, which they did with Minecraft, and basically negotiate a seller's price. So if Sony sells State of Decay on their platform, Microsoft gets a certain percentage, and that wouldn't really hurt Microsoft in the long term, but I think right now an exclusive to Microsoft, and they are holding it hostage because this game to bring life to a user base that really needs it right now.
Yeah, I think the only way that could even be negotiated, like on a serious note, would be PlayStation would have to allow crossplay. Like if that's what Microsoft really wanted to do, Sony couldn't just be like, "All right, I'm gonna give you a higher percentage," especially if the game is like huge. Because I mean, there's other games that Microsoft that didn't sell well that Microsoft could allow on PlayStation, and they haven't. Like Quantum Break, like Sunset Overdrive. Even though, they all did 1 million, but still, that's not like Quantum Break's been out for a while to do barely 1 million, and State of Decay did like I think they did like almost 2 million after being out like 3 years almost.
And with State of Decay, Year 1 edition, Ghosts. I don't know if you ever have seen the State of Decay, like YOSE. Basically, it's like State of Decay Ghosts. It's the current version of State of Decay.
Okay.
So I say PlayStation is a possibility. It is not in any type of huge percentage of coming to that console, but I'm saying it is not a complete no. It is just a small possibility for the future, when the game does die down and Microsoft doesn't have to hold it hostage anymore, but can then license it out and make some more money off it from the PlayStation user base. But with State of Decay, the development team announced, I think at the end of last year, that with the Xbox 360 version and State of Decay, the upgraded version, the Xbox One version, they have hit 5 million overall sales on all platforms that it is on. That is a huge number. So if you really want to break it down, at least half of that is going to buy State of Decay 2 in that first week, and that is huge numbers. And
especially for a single player game, that's the thing that's impressive is you couldn't play with your friends. Like I would say if we could all like play with our friends, I think it might double and possibly triple, because you're going to be able to play with 3 other friends. So it's nothing to be like, hey, such and such, go get State of Decay so we can all play together. Like it's hard for you to tell somebody, oh, this is a great game, but then they don't necessarily like single player games. And
I wouldn't completely say that isn't one of the big reasons why it does have 4-player co-op now. With it having 4-player co-op, it adds so much more for the development team to do, and what they can maneuver a lot more with having a 4-player co-op, because there's a lot of choices players can make then. And one thing I did want to talk about, just to get a couple of you hyped about playing with friends. When you're playing with friends, there are certain there are certain choices that your friends can make that will either help you or maybe be the reason why your community does not survive. And I think that that is the key that's going to make this game succeed, not only just on just casual gamers, but this game is going to be a huge title for that YouTube Let's Play market, where some crazy things that happen with YouTubers playing with other YouTubers and helping this game succeed, because you know, this game doesn't need too much selling, from Let's Players and big YouTubers, because it already has a lot of big selling points. But I think this game is going to get just a huge boost in morale because of the awesome experiences that are going to come from having 4 players in one crazy apocalyptic journey. And, for me, like you said earlier, Walking Dead, that is what this game's going for. And this is just a note. When I was editing a video, and I had some of the actual trailer, and it was clips from the gameplay in the trailer. I have a setting on my software that allows me to change the change the filter on the video. Well, I chose the Walking Dead filter, and it did nothing to the gameplay. It didn't change any colors. So what that tells me is they're going for that color scheme, that rustic, very dumbed down in contrast Walking Dead filter. So they're not shy about it, taking a lot of the beats that Walking Dead has created for that apocalyptic genre. And that just gets me more hyped because I'm a Walking Dead fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I can see, how like with GTA 5, a lot of people do their videos online and make their little stories. I can see people trying to edit, clips of State of Decay and trying to make episodes of The Walking Dead out of that, and that in itself will make the game huge. And then all they have to do is supply us with a ton of DLC, like allow somebody to get a crossbow. You know how crazy people will go for a crossbow, and they run around with a vest that looks similar to Daryl's. Oh my God, people lose their mind.
If you do remember,
well, they already have a katana, but if you have a girl in there with locks that looks like Michonne-ish, people are gonna lose their minds. They're gonna lose their minds.
Yeah, and if you do remember, there was an Easter egg in the first one that did give hint to The Walking Dead, and it was Rick Grimes' base. It was his police car, and they also had a sign that I think it said it was either Grimes or something like that. But this development team knows The Walking Dead. They know what it is. They love the undead, and Walking Dead being one of the hugest, apocalyptic franchises, going to take a lot of inspiration from The Walking Dead and insert that in this game. So there's just so many, reasons to love it, and I can't wait. And that is something that I keep going over is I cannot wait.
Yeah, what the other thing I'm interested to see is their human villains or their antagonists. That's what I want to really see. Is like we know the zombies are there, but usually in the zombie apocalypse, they're just the background. They're there, and yes, they're dangerous, but it's usually your human foes that are really the issue as far as in these apocalyptic games.
From what I know so far, with there being human enemies, is and this is only what Undead Labs have put out, and it is that uh, in the first state of Decay, there were these groups of people that were called enclaves, and these enclaves of people were separate from your community, but
Mm-hmm.
you could still help them, and they would in return allow you to search their lock boxes, their supply crates, and you would be able to take a weapon or two, or just get something for your help. And they weren't enemies, they were always friendly.
Yeah.
With State of Decay 2 having 4-player co-op, I think that hints to everybody that there are going to be enemies that are a bit more dangerous than just people who are trying to bite you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
In any multiplayer game, you don't want just people beating up things. There has to be some type of uh, integral shoot fest, a real
Yeah.
danger, and zombies aren't too much of a danger when you're running 4 players.
Yeah.
So I think just from there being co-op, there is definitely going to be some type of overwhelming force that you're going to take care of. I wouldn't put it past implement a government that is basically against you and doesn't want you to survive, or at least not join their ranks if you want to survive. And I think that that could possibly be the beat they take, is a maybe some type of you're in a quarantined area, and these 3 maps are basically quarantine zones, and the government is that baddie, and the
Mhm.
overwhelming baddie. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's 100%, but I do really think that there's going to be besides the enclaves being either friendly or foes, I do think there's going to be an overwhelming force that you're going to take care of. But that's just my own opinion, and that's my own hope. I haven't really read anything that indicates that that will be the case, but just from there being 4-player co-op, I do think there's going to be things harder than just feral zombies and regular zombies.
Yeah. I think definitely having human enemies, especially having like a fire, having firefights where you're shooting at humans, but then zombies come because of it. That just brings a whole new
Oh,
dynamic
yeah, it
to
does.
combat.
Yeah, and they've had many of years to think all of this through.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, whatever they provide us, I'm pretty sure they know
Yeah.
what we're looking for. And this will be their first tackle at really making having kind of like the reins, like they're not handcuffed by only 2 gigabytes. So
Yep.
therefore, they
Yep.
should be able to show us something pretty special. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. But man, this is great. We should definitely do another one discussion
No
in the
doubt.
future.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll have to see what my audience thought, and just as a last, just a last beat for E3 coming up.
Mhm.
What do you think Microsoft's plan is? Because I think they're going last, correct?
No, they're going first.
They're going first. Okay.
Yeah.
What is their strategy for that?
Well, what I've seen from Phil Spencer, he was talking about he wants to show more of the games. So I think that State of Decay, Crackdown, and Sea of Thieves will get a substantial amount of airtime. So yeah, they'll do their trailers like they normally do, right? But they're going to give them probably about 8 minutes
Mhm.
of actually stage time for each game. Now the order, that's a good question. I don't know. Well, I think the first thing they'll show is the Scorpio, right? Got to get it out the way.
Of
First
course.
and the last thing they'll show is the Scorpio. First thing they'll show is the actual console. Um, I don't know if they might show the console and then the price first, and then just get all that out the way.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a great price, they're gonna do that first thing. Bam! Oh, Scorpios, whatever. Oh, shit, it's whatever. Oh.
Yeah.
And then
And
all of a sudden they'll be like, all right, now on to the games. Now, I would probably say State of Decay first. I'm thinking it would go first.
I would say it would go first, but I think they're going to
unless it's something new. I'm thinking they're starting
unless it's something.
No, I think Crackdown would be last because that's the most. State of Decay is probably the one that's it's standard. Everybody's gonna get State of Decay, right? Everybody who wants it is gonna get it. Crackdown is like, I don't know, what is it, And I think that's what they're going to save for the end because people want to know, does the cloud work? We know it works for Forza, but I'm talking about, does it work when you're trying to blow like the whole city up? Does it work?
Yeah.
And I think they'll save that for the end.
I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it past them to put Forza first. And
you know what? You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right.
And do you think that every game that they're going to show is going to be compatible with both Xbox One and Scorpio? And I don't mean, are they going to alienate? Is every game they're going to show playable on Scorpio?
Yeah, everything that's not VR, as far as I know. Only VR is going to be exclusive to Scorpio. Everything else will be scalable. So that their dev kits are from... Like usually you build from the ground up, but the way that they said they designed the Scorpio was you build from the top down. So you build from the highest SKU and then you scale it down to the lowest common denominator, which is the Xbox One.
Okay.
So that's how they did it. So the games should all play the same, but they might not all look the same, I mean, but it's no different than on PC,
every PC is going to run a game different. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is it'll just be better optimized because you're only talking about 3 different SKUs versus like thousands because people have like a billion different parts.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be the main thing, but E3 either way is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what Xbox has. Obviously, they're going to have titles we don't know about. And that'll be great too, So for the people that, I mean, I'm excited for the titles that we currently have. I'm not even worried about the stuff I don't know about yet. But other people are just, I want to know other stuff. Great, they'll have stuff there for you too, So
I can only imagine what we do not know about, like, for a treat, because Xbox really needs to impress this year, and I think they have it because they're confident. And for me, a confident console manufacturer and publisher means that, me as a gamer, I should be confident about what they're going to be putting out.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. PlayStation 2. I already know. I mean, Spider-Man, God of War, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's going to be any. I mean, obviously people are going to say who won, who lost, whatever.
Of course.
But all together, I'm just saying, look, doesn't matter. I'm going to win either way.
Yeah, we win either way, and that's just that is the main thing you have to take away from
what about Nintendo? Not to say that anything's bad about Nintendo. I'm a little bit old. So I kind of grew out of Nintendo a long time ago. That's all. But I think but I'm about to have kids not too long ago. I'll probably jump back in Nintendo with them.
I mean, for me, I'd like to get the Nintendo Switch if I can find it. But there's just nothing there for me, and comfortable with the lineup so far. So I just want the time to pass, and I want this roller coaster to end. I want to have these games.
I'm just so ready. I'm so ready to like, I noticed like as people, our tastes change, right? We get older. Stuff I liked when I was younger, I don't like anymore. Yeah. Like when I was a kid, I loved Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that. You couldn't pay me to play a sports game. Football, hell, I wouldn't play that shit. NBA Live, hell no, I'm not playing that. Now it's
guess, you love it.
Yeah, 2K. I'm like, I mean, you know what the funny thing is? I don't play 2K now nearly as much as I used to, and it's because I don't. My cousin doesn't play; he's always busy. So it's like, all right, and yeah, I play every every now and then with a few friends, but for the most part, you know, not so much, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm getting on to multiplayer. I love single player stories when I wasn't married, right? Because I had so much time.
Yeah.
I had all this time to myself. I could just sit around and fucking just veg out for 8 hours. Hell yeah. Go to work, come home, talk to my girl on the phone for an hour. All right, bye, babe. And then go and play the game for like 8 straight hours until it's time for me to go to sleep and then go to work and do it all over again. I can't do that shit no more. I can't even play games until past 11 o'clock. I gotta wait for my wife to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so.
Hey, there's a silver lining in everything, though. You know, back when you were in that position, you were alone playing video games, but you wanted a wife, you wanted those other things in life.
Yeah,
so I think you're in a good position.
No doubt, you do. Like, if you definitely sit there and just be like, damn, there's a couple times you play a game and just sit back and be like, man, what the fuck am I doing? I should be doing something. Well, when you have when you have all the time, you're like, damn, I got too much goddamn time. And then, when you don't have the time, you're like, damn, I ain't got no time. Shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's going to be great because now it's like, moving into all these great multiplayer games. Like I've been telling people, I've been playing Sea of Thieves in this alpha, and obviously I can't talk too much about it, but what I played, I loved, and I just want more of it, and obviously I just gotta wait. So, and it provides me with, I get to talk to people, you get to interact with them, you get to go on your missions. I mean, it's just like any other multiplayer game. It's just I don't know, the freedom of it's a multiplayer game for when you want to do some casual shit. Like, you don't feel like I have to be constantly engaged or shooting somebody at the same all the time, even though that does happen. It doesn't happen all the time, unless your crew is trying to look for that and you're trying to go out there and just be like straight up hardcore pirates and be like, yeah, fuck all the treasure. We're gonna go find other people, steal their goddamn treasure. Be like, god damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see Sea of Thieves. I haven't done too much research into it.
Yeah.
But when that game does launch, I'll probably get into it and see what it's all about. But let me tell you this, Live. You will be the first person I play State of Decay 2 with, because I can't wait to just dive into this game and really discuss it with someone who cares about
the first one who trying to be on the squad. You already got 2. Yeah, because
I'll pick out.
I can't wait.
I'll probably pick out 2 other viewers.
I can't wait. I just want to see what the funny thing is like the first thing you get into the game, you're just trying to figure out, well, what did they do? What's different, And I just can't wait, man. And from what I'm seeing is nowadays they have a lot more diverse zombies within the zombies, It's not just the regulars, the Juggernaut and the Screamer. We know that. But within the zombies, you have freshly turned, and then you have people that straight bone face, And I'm like, oh, shit. They different levels.
They show that in the clip that you show that is the Screamer yelling. They really do show the different zombies, and I think with that new, like I said earlier, with that large amount of development room that they have now, they are able to make more diverse these buildings, everything.
Yeah,
and I just can't wait. But thanks for having me live.
No doubt.
This is our first conversation, and I think it was, I don't swear on my channel, but
you can come here and wild the fuck out.
This was a fucking awesome discussion, and I can't wait to have more on this channel with you. And here's to the future. And thanks for having me on, man.
No doubt. And to everybody in the chat, I appreciate it. We had up to like almost 40 people. That's what's up. And normally I do my shout outs, but there's a lot of fucking people in here, and I don't think I have enough time to do that because I got to cook dinner in like the next 5 minutes.
Can you see the viewers' names?
Yeah, I can see, well, no, I can't see all the names. I can just see who's in the chat. So, you know what? I'll do a few shout outs. I got Halo Storm up in here. I got Key Items in here. I got True Gamer.
Key, hold on. Key in team item, dude. Thank you for coming to the live discussion. Key Item, dude. I put him in almost every one of my videos because Key or Kai or however you pronounce your goddamn name, I fucking love you, dude.
Oh, it might be Kai. I think you're right. I think it is Kai Item or Key. You know what? No, it's Key. It's definitely Key. He just spells the Y with an I.
He has the best discussions in the comment section, and that is the type of shit I live for. And Key Item or Intim or however you pronounce it, man. Thanks for watching and thanks for supporting me just as an individual. Do you see anybody named Original Juice?
That's the Original Juice. You know what? Let me look at the top. No, I don't see. I see. It's Blue Raven.
Okay.
Let's see. Who else is? There's a couple of. Well, I got my boy DJ Singh. He always up in here. Flip Money. What's going on?
I'm reading the comments. Key Item says, "Thank you so much, Arky. You can say it however you want." Yeah, man.
Who else is up in here? I seen David R. He's up in here. What's going on, man? They got a couple of people over here. I'm trying to see. Let me see. Oh, we got Bed-Stuy up in here. BK Bed-Stuy.
Next time we'll have to go over some viewer comments. Some comments.
Definitely. You know what? Actually, yeah. Just leave your comments below, and then next time we do our live chat, we'll do our live stream. We'll discuss some of the comments. Yeah, just leave it in the comments below. I'll look over it before we go, and then we'll like kind of pick out the best ones, and then we'll do it. Do our discussion over that, and that'll be awesome.
That'll be awesome. And viewers, try to make it about E3 because that's the big thing.
Yes. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. I'm thinking about doing a live show with my wife because she's not a gamer, so I just want to see her reaction. I'm not gonna get on camera because I don't want people like, oh, I don't want to see this ugly motherfucker for the next hour. But you can hear the reaction. That's fine. That's good enough for me.
Yo, True Gamer, you're a fucking OG, man. We got DJ Sign.
Oh, Singh. He's from India.
Okay, DJ Singh. He says nobody loves me, bro. I love you.
DJ, I just called you out, bro. I just it must have been a delay. But yeah.
Key Item. Thanks for being here. Thanks for always being there. You're my main dude. You and Fabian. You know who Fabian is. Key and Tim. So really fucking fun. Excuse my French, but it has been.
No, you're on live channel. You gotta say fuck at least 3 times. This is how we get down over here. This shit gotta get crazy.
Yeah, it has been a blast, and no love from me, Arky. Fucking the Halo Storm, man. I love you, but when you ask me to love you, it's just a little less. I'm just kidding. No, the Halo Storm, you're the dude.
Yo, Halo Storm is around a lot, man. He travels to a lot of podcasts. I would definitely say that. I see him everywhere.
Wow. So he's a vet. I call those veterans. When people do shit just over and over and they love it, that is a veteran and a true OG. So hey guys from LiveWirezGamer, thanks for listening to me rant for I don't know how long this has been, an hour for now. thanks for having me, guys. I hope you guys can come check out the channel if you guys are interested in State of Decay 2 or just any of my content. And thank you, LiveWires. This has been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, it's talking about State of Decay. What could be better?
Yeah,
I love State of Decay.
We will have to discuss behind closed doors about our next, our next live stream and when we can do that. But this has been really awesome, and this has been actually my first, live stream broadcast, anything like that. So I really and I really see this in the future, and I enjoyed the conversations we've had during the live stream and before the live stream. So yeah,
No, it's awesome.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on. And yeah, man, we got to do it again. I just can't wait. It's always great to be in good company. It's always awesome. Yep. All right, but we're gonna be out of here. Catch us next time. And we're out this bitch, baby. Peace.